The story of Jesus' birth is famous for its serene, peaceful imagery, but the world he entered already had a savior, the Roman emperor, worshipped as a living god. This emperor's Roman peace was enforced by the sword and the constant threat of crucifixion, and the local king, Herod, was a paranoid tyrant who murdered his own family to keep his throne. We will now strip away the myths to see the volatile political and social world of 1 AD. Judea was not independent, but a client kingdom of Rome. Its king, Herod, was appointed by Roman generals, creating deep local resentment. Herod was a master builder, raising magnificent structures like the rebuilt Second Temple and the fortress of Masada. But this grandeur hid a dark truth. These colossal building projects were funded by crushing taxes on the very people who hated his rule, a cycle of Roman-backed oppression. Rome also asserted direct control through tools like the census, a deeply unpopular system for calculating taxes and finding military recruits. So, beyond the brutal politics of emperors and kings, what was daily life like for an ordinary family? The reality was far from that drama. For most people, it was a simple agrarian existence. Life was dictated by seasons and local trades, not the decrees of a distant emperor. This simple life was burdened by the hated figure of the tax collector, a fellow Jew seen as a collaborator who extorted money for personal profit. The true center of Jewish community life was the local synagogue, a school, courtroom, and place of worship, all in one. And this world was vast. About 4 million Jews lived across the empire, with many in the diaspora speaking Greek. This complex social reality is the true setting of the Nativity, forcing us to re-examine the story we think we know. So if this is the world, how does it change the manger scene? Let's start with the most famous detail: no room in the inn. But first, we must understand the town where Jesus grew up. What if Nazareth, seen as a backwater, was actually a center of cultural resistance? The inn was likely not a commercial hotel. The Greek word kataluma often means guest room in a private home, which was simply full due to the census. So Jesus was placed in a manger, an animal's feeding trough, because it was the only private space in the home's main living area. Likewise, the Magi were not 3 kings visiting a newborn. The Bible gives no number, and they arrived months later, visiting a child in a house. And the date, December 25th. It was chosen centuries later, aligning with Roman festivals rather than historical accuracy. With these myths cleared away, the real world becomes sharper. So let's return to that question about Nazareth. Recent archaeology shows Nazareth wasn't an insignificant village. It was a thriving town, just an hour's walk from the major Romanized city of Sepphoris. This proximity created intense cultural friction. Nazareth's people adhered to stricter Jewish laws, consciously rejecting the culture of their powerful neighbor. This entire world was connected by an unprecedented engineering feat. Over 5,000 miles of paved Roman roads, built for military speed. In their cities, they engineered aqueducts that supplied clean water for public health and sanitation on a scale never seen before. This was the Roman system, brutal military force combined with brilliant engineering. How did these two forces shape the world Jesus was born into? Recall the Jewish diaspora spread across the empire? Those Roman roads became conduits for ideas, connecting communities at incredible speed. And remember the emperor being called savior? Under Herod's tyranny, this created a powerful hunger for a true Messiah to liberate them from Rome. This is the ultimate paradox. Rome's own infrastructure would help spread the message, and its oppressive ideology created the longing for it. The birth of Jesus was not an escape from history. It was a direct collision with it. So what does this new picture really show us? The world at the time of Jesus' birth was no silent holy night. It was a tense, complex place of imperial propaganda and deep spiritual hunger. Understanding this context, the paranoia of Herod, The myth of the inn, the defiance of Nazareth, is fundamental to grasping the Christian message. A king of the Jews was born not to seize a worldly throne, but to introduce a kingdom that was, in his own words, not of this world. What piece of historical context from this era surprises you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below.